Instagram post yesterday that I would have a new video Friday. I like to give myself goals that I know are gonna be tough but possible. Sometimes I might push that a little too much. Well, the good thing is the weather is pretty crappy, as you can see. So I have no motivation to really go outside and do anything else other than what I gotta do with the pups. So it's possible, just gotta get this done today, basically. And for somebody with some mechanical skills, no problem whatsoever. All right, but enough talking. I'm gonna drive home and get started on this because it is already 8:21. All right, we're home. Turn the car around. Hopefully this does some better lighting. I'm messing with the ISO a little. It may make some things kind of blown out, but I'm hoping it makes the engine clearer than the last video. So we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. All right, I showed this in a previous video, but this is the GrimmSpeed in red. You can kind of see that, so the camera can focus. Obviously, aside from the boost controller, it's got a couple little adapters. It's got a little hardware to mount it, and a vacuum hose, and it looks like some zip ties. So apparently they know their audience. All right, there seems to be two options really that I'm debating between, but regardless of what option you choose, which we'll talk about that in a second, you can go in through the top or you can go in underneath. I'm gonna go in through the top. Yeah, you do have to remove a little bit more, but it's raining outside, the car's all wet, the ground's all wet. I have to jack up the car. Honestly, removing these few things seems like less work than that, to be honest. If you're stock in doing this or still have like your stock air intake, yeah, it's gonna take a few more things. Obviously with mine, it's gonna be a little bit easier, but you can do it however you want. So I'm going off this thread on Evo M, which gives the couple methods, but they both seem pretty logical. And I'll link it below if you guys want something to read, but it's got pictures and such too. But basically we just need to disconnect the factory one, which is down here, put our new one kind of in the line of it. So yeah, we'll get into this. I'm gonna start by removing the math, which if you're on stock airbox is gonna be like underneath if I recall, so yours won't be that easy. The stock airbox, you just gotta undo some screws. I did a video where I installed this, so I'm sure there are better tutorials out there, but if you need it, you can go back and look at this video. It's not a tutorial per se, but I tell you what I remove. Or you can just ask in the comments. And then we gotta get this upper pipe. Don't lick the water off my car, please. Thank you. Okay. All right. Upper pipe, recirc valve. All right. And there's the intake. So I was fighting with this one screw down here. Show you guys what I was doing. So I got everything out of here. This is where that screw was on the intake. That right there. Best of my knowledge, this is the factory boost controller. I think you're supposed to, even though we're technically disconnecting it, we're still leave this connected. I'm not sure if it serves a purpose other than really just kind of protecting it, therefore protecting the wiring of the car. So you'll see like one of these is going on right here, and the other one, or if you can see that, you can see them like wiring under there. But we'll remove some more of this and you'll be able to see it better. Okay, that is the factory boost solenoid. So we're gonna cap off this one here and this one there. It's hard to see where they go, but let's see if I can brighten this up. Really hard to get this in here, even for this. But that is your wastegate hose down there. And you're gonna disconnect all of these hoses. So that's where these are going, essentially. There's another one going down there to the turbo. We're gonna disconnect all of those and get rid of all of them. And then we're going to connect our new one to the wastegate and our other new one to where it's on the turbo. And we're gonna run both of those to the new boost controller. Yeah, I may have taken a break for a couple days. All nice and dark outside. Hopefully get this done before the sun comes up. It actually looks brighter in the camera, but it's not that bright out. All right, when removing these off the factory boost controller here, you can see I've got this one here removed, or not removed yet. I've got the little clip off of it. But notice the second one is removed though, and that is because it is broken now. I guess because age and I probably pulled too hard, I actually snapped it off. The good thing is you don't need this anymore. You know, unless you're gonna put it back to factory. The bad thing is, yeah, you can't put it back to factory. So, like I said, the good thing is it's not gonna affect me for today, but I am gonna order a new one of those so that I always have it, so it can go back to factory. All right, so I was actually trying not to break the second one, being very careful with it. And I got it about halfway off before it too snapped. So I'm probably still just being too rough, and like I said, I mean, the car's old, it's got a lot of miles. Obviously all this should be like shiny brass looking kinda. So yeah, I would just say be extra careful when you go to do that. Daylight is upon us. That one down there. Right there. Still kinda out of focus, but you can see it right in the middle of the screen. And I was working my way to get it, and then I dropped my only socket extension into the radiator fan. So I'm pretty much screwed now. Had to jack up the car, but it's daylight, and we're gonna head to the park now.
Issues. And so you have an interesting conundrum to know.
Partly why it takes me so long to do things.
It's a crappy looking contaminated.
All right, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here, but basically you've got the one on the left, which is coming off the wastegate. Got this one on the right, which is coming off the turbo. I need to disconnect both of them because those are the two that are gonna end up going to the new boost controller. Seriously? This is partly why it takes me so long to do things. All right, and then you can see the factory intake pipe. They say you're supposed to cap this off. I think I might actually, I don't know, like I don't have any caps. So I might just plug this, because this will be easier to plug than plug the cap. And I'll just order some caps, I guess, and put on there. Okay, this is what I was talking about. So this part was on the wastegate. This part was on the turbo. And this came up to obviously the boost solenoid. And then, I don't know if this is factory or not. I had this zip tie kind of holding this on, but it's like a reusable one, so I don't know if that's factory. All right, I've been sitting here contemplating where to mount this for about 20 minutes because you're supposed to make the vacuum lines as short as possible. Plus, I only have so much available vacuum line. But I'm leaning towards right here. I kept looking for somewhere over here, but I'm just unsure of a safe place. And then with the hood coming down, and it's like, well, I mean, this is where the factory one is, so I know you're not supposed to make any longer than necessary, but the factory one's going that long, and it seems to be doing okay. So that's my rationale. All right, so I've got this attached, the little mounting bracket. This thing is just beautiful looking, but it drives me nuts that like this bracket is metal, which is nice, and this is obviously metal, the boost controller, but like there's nothing to like stop the metal contact, so I doubt it's gonna do much good. The only thing I could really find was cut some really thin strips of electrical tape. I'm still gonna neaten it up a little bit and just put under there. I mean, it's not like I'm ever gonna take it off or anything, but I don't know, it's just like, you just know that if you take that off, it's gonna scratch the crap out of it underneath it. So, I don't know. Anyways, it's gonna get mounted right here. And I looked at some photos I have of my engine bay, and because I was like, wow, the intake might hit it, but it shouldn't. There's way more space there than I need. And if I really have to, I can turn it this way as well, but I would prefer not to. I prefer it to go like this. Yeah, I forgot to take my stock airbox to storage the other day, so I still have these screws. All right, and got it bolted on. It's mostly tight. I'll tighten it up a little bit more. But yeah, I think that's gonna look pretty cool. Like I said, it should clear the airbox. If not, I can move it over to this side if I have to. Lotus, buddy, you just need to relax. Take a nap. Just take a nap. Oh boy, put yourself in the crate. That's a good boy. This is not hard, but it's the most tedious thing in the world. It's installed now. This one here on the side goes to the wastegate. One on the bottom is going to the turbo. It's not on right now, but I'm reusing these kind of feed lines, and I still had a little extra left from what GrimmSpeed included. So I didn't reuse any of my old vacuum lines and was still able to go here, no problem. It is definitely easier from the bottom. I fought with the turbo one forever. It would help if I had longer pliers. Honestly, that would have solved it. But finally I was able to just from the side bottom just reach my hand in and just literally like force the whatever this little clip thing is down with my hand. So it's on there good and tight, let's put it that way. So now I just need to get my socket back from the radiator fan. Hopefully I don't have to take the radiator fan out. That would be awesome if I don't have to do that. And then put it all back together and determine how bad I messed it up. It was actually really easy. I was able to just slide it along the bottom of the radiator. Got it right out. So now we're gonna put everything back together. Basically, I just need to plug this vacuum line. Lotus, you seem fixated.
He's a good friend of mine. He's a doctor. He's got 3 boys. One's 19, one's just turned 18, one's like 16. He just bought one of them a brand new, or 2017. Subaru, one of those
STI?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Subaru version of this car.
And he put a aftermarket something on a computer, tried it. I'm not sure if you can just replace the computer or the motor's gone.
I mean, you can replace ECUs. It's not easy or cheap, but yeah, I don't know if
It
the
could-
process of destroying the motor.
Yeah, I don't know if it's won't start up, smoking, ticking.
Smoking?
I don't know.
Oh,
He just,
Yeah.
thing's only 6 months old. 9,000 if you get somebody that's not like Subaru or,
that's what they quoted him?
11,000. That's what the Subaru quoted him. You just pay 25 or 32 for it. No, you put down 7,000 and they give it. It's only
Don't know what we have to do, but something's gotta change. If we never, yeah. You're about to, if it never opened up, yeah. If it never, you're about to.
It's in. We're gonna turn it all the way down. And, I still need to tighten that. But go for a test drive and see what we get. All right, so we are gonna hit boost for the first time. thought it would restrict it a little bit more than that, to be honest. I was expecting more. Well, actually, 15 might be what the wastegate is. I can't remember, so that could be why. Or I don't know if that's the correct way of saying that, but it's like if you ran quote unquote like open wastegate or something. Alright, if I remember correctly, it said each quarter or each click was a quarter of a PSI. So, assuming I made it up above wastegate, which I don't know that I have. And again, I could be making that up, I don't know. Should see like 16-ish. Well, that wasn't 16. Something popped, sound like intercooler piping. And you know what? I could probably bring a lot of tools. Yep. Upper intercooler piping popped off. Alright. Well, I should probably head back home and get some tools, because that could have been very bad. Not bad, but inconvenient. We got above 15, so actually seemed to have been like right at like 16, so that's actually good. Let's move it up a little bit more. I'd like to get around maybe like 18. Close where I want it. Do one more like quarter click, or not quarter click, but like quarter PSI. Maybe 2 clicks, get a half a PSI. I think that'll be good. Bring the camera this time so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so what I'm doing is that should be a quarter PSI. That should be a half a PSI. That piping's looking a little loose. Okay. The final little boost test here. Oh, the good old days of having a modified car. Which really this is more just not being able to put intercooler piping on, because frankly I'm hitting less boost than factory right now. And this is happening. So this is really just my own inability to evidently clamp a hose. A pipe, whatever. That's why I used to keep clamps in my car, because this happened once and it blew so hard it busted the clamp. And if you don't have a clamp, oh, you're in for a long night. At least this is upper intercooler piping on an insanely uncharacteristic warm November day versus middle of the night lower intercooler piping. Alright, back at the house here. I'm gonna swap out this intercooler piping, I don't know, clamp or whatever. It's bugging me. I'm wondering if maybe it lost its effectiveness. So I've got all these other clamps. I'm gonna use one of them. They're a lot stronger. You gotta be careful with these though, because I actually bent intercooler piping once with these. These can get so tight. I'm gonna just replace it and also throw a couple of these in my car. I mean, those clamps are getting, what, 15 years old anyways, so. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I'm trying to get them out once a week on Fridays. It's just when it's me actually working on the car, it just wasn't done. I mean, I could have put up a video that said like, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm not gonna do that. Next was gonna be an exhaust and a tune. but I don't know. I've been doing a little bit more reading on like eTunes and stuff. I might do something like that. Whereas, you know, you pay them to tune it, and then if you change your mods, you know, it's just a small fee to retune it kind of thing. So then that way I could tune it for, you know, the intake and the boost controller, drive it at full boost for a while until I can get the exhaust, because, I mean, we're talking it's early November right now. I'd say best case scenario, January, best case, before I can get an exhaust for this car. Because aside from the money of the exhaust, there's also the fact that I've got that leak with the oil pan that I want to get taken care of. So that's going to add a little bit of labor cost to it, because I have no intention of doing the exhaust myself in my garage. I remember taking off the exhaust on my Evo 9 when it had, I don't know, 10,000 miles on it. So this thing that's 15 years old, 150,000 miles, I can just imagine what a mess those bolts are going to be, and I don't want to deal with them. So with that, I think we're going to end this video. Appreciate it as always, and I will see you in the next video. What?
Oh gosh.
Wow.
What did you blow?
Intercooler? Yep.